From the Wrap Pro, which I guess you have to pay to read the rest of this article, which is absolutely not going to happen, but we can at least talk about the topic because I think there is some substance to this, where it basically says that Bob Iger's ultimate power move may be selling Disney to Apple. And I do think that there is something to this because Apple and Disney have had a close working relationship as companies for a long time. Steve Jobs, when at least up to the point when he passed away, I believe he was the largest shareholder of Disney stock because of Pixar and some other deals that they had worked out. I don't know what the Steve Jobs estate has now involvement with Disney, but I would have to imagine they have some level of involvement. There's also been deals that have been discussed with Apple and Disney parks and doing something within the parks. I don't know if anything actually got agreed upon, but they do have a close working relationship. So it says right here, that now that Disney CEO Bob Iger has regained the keys to the Magic Kingdom less than 3 years after his chosen successor, Bob Chapek, took over, insiders suspect that they know how the beloved executive will find a new way to go out on top during his final 2-year stint. He's going to sell the company, one Disney insider who has worked with Iger predicted. This is the pinnacle deal for the ultimate deal maker. Now, let's go back to the first part of this. Less than 3 years after his chosen successor, Bob Chapek, took over. He did not pick Chapek to take over, in my opinion. I believe, and I will continue to believe, that Bob Chapek was a fall guy for the entire lockdowns and the coronavirus was shutting the entire world down. Disney was going to take a big hit. That was going to make Bob Iger look bad, so therefore he had a fall guy. I believe Bob Iger was always in control of Disney from behind the scenes. At least that's my speculation, and I have nothing to prove that, although I did predict it when this all went down several years ago. I predicted this exact scenario would happen, where Bob Iger would come back to be the perceived ringleader and the savior of the company once again, yada, yada, yada. But in terms of this, Apple is the most profitable brand in the world. And right there, you see the brand value, $355 billion. They're number one. Amazon is 2. Google is 3. Microsoft, Walmart, Samsung, Facebook, ICBC, and so on and so forth. So you see how this is a very much deal, a deal that Apple can 100% do. Will it change Disney if they ultimately do something? I don't think so. I think that Apple will continue to make Disney even less of a company that you can connect to, because that was the thing that was great about Disney all those years ago, where you connected to the company, you connected to what they were doing and how they were approaching all of the products that they were putting out and all of the shows and the movies and everything they were generating, the things in the parks. You have lost such a connection with the Disney company from their IPs because now it's just a corporate machine. Now, again, everybody knows that watches me. I am not a fan of Apple products at all. I obviously am an Android user. I hate iPhones. I hate Apple products. I despise these products. I despise them because they have no personality whatsoever. It is literally a box that Apple wants you to be in, and that's the box you have to be in. There's nothing else beyond those 4 walls that they want you in. They control you. They control they control your experience, and I hate it. Again, there's people out there that like it, and that's great for them. But if we're applying that to how they could impact Disney as a brand, I just think it would even become more of a corporate structured zombie-like feel of a company, which is everything that was not what Disney was. Disney was a complete opposite of that. So will this happen? I don't know. It's an interesting thing to speculate about for sure, and it would make sense. I've heard these rumblings for a long time in terms of Apple having interest in Disney. And with everything going on with the theme parks right now in Orlando, and what's going on with Universal Studios and how much money they're pumping into those parks to really take some of the market share away. And while the theme parks are not the center of the world with Disney, they are a really big part of it, a massive part of it. And there's so much more opportunity down there that they could do in Orlando, the amount of space they have, the amount of land they have. But right now, Universal is really hurting their market share. And right now, what I think will happen, if there is a discussion about a deal with Apple, what my speculation is that Bob Iger will come in and he will slowly move a lot of these products away from the wokeness and away from the nonsense and actually get back to basics so that they can turn their profits around, so that they can turn, all their box office numbers around, so they can get people to come back into the fold just so he can build this back up. And then eventually they would sell it at a higher price. That's what I think would happen over these next 2 years. Bob Iger does not care. He doesn't care about you. He doesn't care about me. He doesn't care about all of the woke bullshit that he claims he cares about. He's a politician. Bob Iger is 100% a politician. That's all he cares about is himself. And he's a masterful politician. I will give him credit for that. The dude is a masterful politician. And his 2-year plan is probably to get Disney back up to a sellable standard, get them out of the hole that they are in, get them to a point where he can broker this deal and he can look like the hero, and then he can go ahead and move further into left-wing politics. That's just that is a kind of a tough take from me, but that's what I think is very possible right now. That is what I would think is the most possible scenario based on what we have seen, because there's no real reason Bob Iger should be coming back into the fold. And I use quotation marks with that. But the reality of it is I believe this was planned all along. This is to make him look fantastic and then maybe broker a deal. Either that or he's just going to make the Walt Disney Company, he's going to make them look better being the savior. So either way, he's the savior. If he turns it around and the company is improving in all aspects, he's the savior. If he turns it around and then they sell to Apple, then he's the savior that brokered this massive deal. So either way, he looks good. Then he goes on to become this left-wing politician. Time will tell. You guys have a great day. Thank you very much for checking out this video, and we will talk to you later.